So what has inspired you?
Definitely, I reference The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy so much in the writer's room that we should be probably paying somebody. I went through puberty while reading those books, and so it was that Dungeons and Dragons that mapped my world. So I think that when I, you might have seen in my work on Community, it's always like kind of letting that stuff dribble into an environment. It wasn't like very hospitable to me. Like, why is this a sci-fi show? It's supposed to be a sitcom. So I think I tend to think in those terms anyway. So does Justin. We all like to just sit around and talk about our favorite sci-fi concepts. Yeah. We're not even that into science. We barely research anything.
Well, that's not true. We're reading like Brian Greene's The Fabric of the Cosmos and all that shit, quantum physics and simulation theory.
But it's really much more about just the sci-fi that we're already familiar with, the concepts of teleportation, the concepts of X-ray vision, these things that...
Or even just, yeah, exactly, like coming up with a cool invention, a cool sci-fi, like I would love to be able to, like the Meeseeks is a great one. It's like, you just, I mean, it's a genie, essentially, but a sci-fi version of that. And that's such a great, like, it's almost a wish fulfillment type, like, I would love to have that thing. God, I wish it was real, you know what I mean? And then just having fun with that, building a story around it. Oh, yeah. That's okay, right here. Yeah.
Right. And the idea that also it's the strangest thing. We've been raised on be careful what you wish for mythology, but we don't apply it to the subtleties of life. We think that we're just supposed to not wish for grandiose things. Like, I wish time would stop for me. I wish I was rich. I wish I was famous. I wish I had a jetpack. Like, we've been trained to believe that those things should be kept secret, and that we should focus on things like taking 2 swings on our golf swing, golf cart. And it's
yeah. You think
the saddest, most tragic wish in the world, and it's the most unfulfillable one. It's like, and meanwhile, maybe you should just wish to be a more complete woman. Maybe you should have that reach. And
it's so funny to me. It's like you can tell the Meeseeks. I mean, they'd be the perfect assassin, or bank robber, or I don't know what, but last to take strokes off your golf swing or make you a better artist. Help me draw fairies better. Like, that would probably be a disaster. I just also want to say Farscape, huge influence for this guy. He couldn't get past the second one.
Don't like puppets or...
No, he didn't like and he rightfully so. That second episode, they really pooped the bed on that one.
I don't even remember.
I'm
turned off by the fact that Farscape fans often say things like, you have to give it a couple seasons.
That's
called a bad show.
You have to give it, I say every time, you have to just give it half of the first season, which I think is like 23 episodes, so it's a lot. It's a lot of time to commit. But I swear to God, boom, you'll be buckled in, and anyways, you won't want to stop.
So when you guys are writing, you start in a place where you know exactly where it's going to go, or you just sometimes find yourself in a place where you have no other option, let's jump in and alternate universe?
We start with ideas, and we see if those write themselves as stories for a while, and that's the same process that we use in Community. The big difference is that we start from the supposition that Rick can accomplish anything. We don't tell stories that are based on, oh my God, Rick's really in a corner now. Not often. Like, it's more like we start with the idea that hey, this guy is basically a god. He can do whatever he wants, and it's more about well, how does that make so and so feel, and how does that feeling land somebody in hot water that they just have to get out of. So yeah, it's up to and including the idea that you could just, if all else fails, if you a normal show you couldn't get higher stakes, then you're going to fuck up the whole earth. But in our show that's just
And we also, I mean, as a joke, put it in, you know, you do this, you know, 2 or 3 more times, you know. But when we're in the writers' room, there are episodes that come effortlessly. They sort of just, it's this weird, I don't know what you call it. We just kind of riding a wave of sort of smoothness, and then there are some that fight back. You know, like you're trying to reel in a shark, and it's just, you know, there's stories where we're, you know, and we've literally gotten to the point where we've gotten to third draft, and we table it, and we're just like, like we're still, and I think that's kind of partly, you know, the high standards we set for ourselves, and also just like you said, like the outlet, the sort of cosmos, the energy. What do you call it? Like, you know, that just guides us. I don't know. You know, just don't fight the. I don't know. Whatever. Don't listen to me. All right. I don't I mean, we've approached it the way Dan approached the community. I mean, we've had to really step up to the half-hour story. You know, I mean, when you're writing a half-hour show, you really have to bring it. You know, you have to have a solid A story, a solid B story. Occasionally, it's a tertiary C story that's good. But
when we were doing 5 minute stuff, we still follow the same story structure. It's just the amount of time that something is really only affects the pacing of it, because the 5 minute story has to move a lot faster instead of 20 minutes.
And some of those literally followed like tiny, Little Legs or what is Tiny Legs. That actually have a full Channel 101-esque story circle within that whole thing. I mean, you know, I consider Channel 101 and Dan like my college in a weird way. You know, like my learning of how to tell a story, there's certain things you have to do in order to tell a story that's going to be entertaining to an audience. And I tell my mom all the time, I'm like, you know, and she agrees. Like, you know, that like I dropped out of college twice, but then I moved to LA, and then I somehow, thank God, I stumbled upon this Channel 101 thing, and that was my college. Like, that was the real college. And this guy was my professor, Professor Dan Harmond, and it's crazy that we're here. I mean, it just blows my mind. And that has nothing to do with the question you asked. I'll just be rambling. I'm drinking Pepsi and tea. Okay, so go easy on me, all right? I'm just gonna be honest. Oh shit.
How did that story? What's your favorite aspect of
I'm really impartial to Rick and Summer going to the all-male planet that has a society of all females underneath it. I still, I don't know if I'm projecting, like maybe I read something here or there or something on Reddit saying like, this is just like a regular Family Guy kind of humor like thing, because it's like men and women kind of humor, but I really like TV. I just like, and it was also kind of the first time it was about Summer saying, why don't I go on adventures with you, and then she gets yanked to the portal, and Rick's mad at her for being a woman, and she's being openly misogynistic, but not in a really Archie Bunker way. It was still very funny, and Summer having her big moment. I liked everything about that story, and it was really fun. Oh, and paired with the story of Morty going through parenthood.
On like a rapid fire,
because that was a great way. I'm 41, and I hadn't really thought about what parenthood really is from beginning to end until we wrote that story. And it really made me realize what a shitty deal my parents got.